Child, you see, there's been endless speculation about whether Jay Z really had something going on with Rihanna back in the day. And now that all these new stories about Jay are coming to light, people are pulling out receipts from every corner. But the most shocking one? It's about how Rihanna allegedly made Beyonce cry her eyes out after Jay Z walked into a party hand in hand with RiRi, and guess who had to step in to comfort our Queen Bee during this devastating moment? None other than her sister Solange. We're going to break down everything that happened between these three, so you better settle in because this story is about to get wild. Let's start from the very beginning, shall we? We all know Beyonce was already the reigning queen of the industry when young Rihanna burst onto the scene with Pon de Replay. Of course, RiRi signed with Jay Z's record label, which meant she was constantly around both Jay and Bey. Now, in the beginning, everything seemed perfectly innocent. Rihanna was actually out there singing Beyonce's praises and claiming she looked up to her like the queen she is.
A big fan of Beyonce.
I love her.
And so has she given you any kind of advice or...
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
Now, here's something that will make your jaw drop. According to L.A. Reid's tell-all memoir, Sing to Me and Honey, this book spills all the tea. There was actually another artist in the picture when they signed Rihanna. L.A. Reid writes that he literally just happened to see Rihanna standing in the hallway one day, not even knowing she could sing. But Jay Z? Oh, he had already heard RiRi's voice and was pushing hard to get her signed. But wait, it gets even juicier. L.A. Reid dropped this bomb in his book. They actually signed two artists at that time, Rihanna and a talented young lady named Tiara Marie. And here's the gag. Reid was actually more impressed with Tiara's talent. But then something incredible happened. Beyonce gave him the look and told him to pick Rihanna instead. Can you believe it? Now, the word on the street was that Beyonce chose Rihanna because she didn't see her as competition. Apparently, Queen Bee felt threatened by Tiara Marie's incredible talent and basically orchestrated her sabotage. But oh darling, talk about a plan backfiring. Rihanna ended up becoming this massive superstar who posed an even bigger threat, not just to Beyonce's career, but to her whole relationship with Jay Z. Speaking of threats, let me tell you about this party incident that has everyone's tongues wagging. Picture this scene. Beyonce arrives at this high-profile party alone, already suspicious, right? Then, a few moments later, who should walk in but Jay Z, with Rihanna by his side? And honey, they weren't just walking in casually. They were looking all lovey-dovey and intimate. The sources say Beyonce completely broke down. We're talking uncontrollable sobbing, hyperventilating, the whole dramatic scene. But here's what's truly shocking. Jay Z didn't even bat an eye. He just kept partying with Rihanna like his wife wasn't having a complete emotional breakdown right there in public. If it wasn't for Solange being there to comfort her sister, who knows what would have happened. And let me tell you something. If Jay Z could humiliate Beyonce like this in public, can you imagine what might have been happening behind closed doors? This actually brings us to another explosive revelation from the biography Becoming Beyonce by J. Randy Taraborelli that's recently resurfaced. Back in 2015, this book dropped a massive bomb. Apparently, the Carters separated for an entire year in 2005. And guess what timing this was? Right when Jay was scouting Rihanna. Now, I don't believe in coincidences, and neither should you. Randy spilled even more tea to Entertainment Tonight, saying that Beyonce was completely lost about what to make of the whole Rihanna situation. It shook her so deeply that she needed that entire year apart from Jay Z just to process everything. Can you imagine being Beyonce and having to deal with all this drama? Now, when things started getting really heated and these affair rumors were spreading faster than wildfire, Rihanna's former publicist Jonathan tried to do some serious damage control. He sent out this email claiming it was all just a PR stunt to help promote Pon de Replay. He said he was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. But honey, knowing Jay Z's reputation and how things work in the industry, who's to say Jonathan wasn't encouraged to take the fall? And speaking of Jonathan, he recently posted something very interesting on Instagram that's got everyone talking. His phone has been absolutely blowing up since all these Jay Z stories started circulating again. He wrote about being mentioned in this explosive documentary by Trap LaRosse and how Jaguar Wright has been speaking out about this whole mess too. But what's really got people's heads spinning is what happened next in Jonathan's story. He revealed that federal agents, yes, you heard that right, federal agents, actually stopped him. Apparently, they've been keeping tabs on Jay since that Lance Rivera incident and some drama with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Imagine this scene. Jonathan sitting in this creepy makeshift interrogation room, probably shaking in his designer boots, while these federal agents are grilling him about some seriously disturbing allegations. They were investigating whether Jay Z had inappropriate relations with Rihanna before she was of age and possibly transported her across international borders. And the most shocking part? They said she wasn't the only one. There were many others. Chile, this tea isn't just hot, it's boiling.
Like, people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from his celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was Jay Z.
But wait, there's even more to this story. Remember that infamous night before the 2009 Grammys with Chris Brown? Well, darling, there's apparently way more to that story than what we've been told. The official version was that they were fighting in a Lamborghini because Rihanna confronted Chris about another woman. But hold on to your wigs, because there's another version floating around that's even more scandalous. According to some sources, Chris got mad because Rihanna gave him an STD, which she allegedly got from Jay Z. When Chris confronted her about her behavior, that's what allegedly started the whole fight. And get this, people are saying Jay Z forced Chris to stick to the official story because he didn't want his own drama coming to light. The plot just keeps getting thicker and thicker. In Chris's original version, he claimed that while they were in the Lamborghini, Rihanna grabbed his, well, let's just say his personal area while trying to get his phone. He said she got out of the car and started screaming for help, saying he was trying to hurt her. But according to these new revelations, this whole story might have been carefully crafted to keep certain other details from coming to light. Jaguar Wright has been spilling some seriously hot tea about all of this, and while we can't be 100% certain about every single detail, one thing's crystal clear. There's been way too much smoke around this Jay Z and Rihanna situation for there not to be any fire. The number of different sources and stories all pointing in the same direction is just too much to ignore. What really gets under my skin is how Rihanna seemed totally unbothered about embarrassing Beyonce like that at that party. I mean, walking in hand with a married man while his wife is right there, that's just cold. Maybe this explains why these two queens have never collaborated on any music together. There's clearly some bad blood there. And can we talk about how this all affects Beyonce? Imagine being in her position, watching your husband walk into a party with another woman, someone you actually helped promote and support. The betrayal must have been absolutely devastating. No wonder she needed that year apart to figure things out. It really makes you question everything you thought you knew about these relationships in the industry. The fact that these stories are resurfacing now, years later, just goes to show that in Hollywood, secrets don't stay buried forever. People are finally feeling brave enough to speak their truth, and the walls that once protected certain powerful figures are starting to crumble. But honey, what do you think about all this resurfaced drama? Do you believe there's truth to these allegations? Or is it all just industry gossip? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this tea is absolutely too hot to sip alone. And remember, in this industry, where there's smoke, there's usually a whole forest fire waiting to be discovered.